So imagine this question comes in your final year exam or your end of term exam. How will you solve it? Will you get it correct? If this question comes in your end of term exams, will you get it correct? That is x divided by x squared minus 5x plus 6 plus 1 divided by x minus 2 plus 3 divided by x minus 3. If this question comes in your exam, will you get it correct? So you can pause the lesson, or you can pause the video and then try to answer the question on your own to see if you will get it correct. So the first thing you have to do in this type of question is to find the LCM. You know, from basic school, even before you go to senior high school, you learned how to add fractions. For example, 1 over 3 plus maybe 2 over 5. You know, the first thing you have to do is to find the least common multiple. So for this particular question also, we need to find the least common multiple of the denominators. And you can see the denominators on the board. So what is the LCM of these denominators? Actually, for this particular question, it's not that straightforward to find the LCM. But the first we need to do is to factorize the first denominator, that is x squared minus 5x plus 6. We need to factorize it. If we factorize it, then we move on to the next step. But how do we factorize this particular denominator? Think of it this way. We have negative 5x and 6. So when it comes to factorization, the only thing you need to do is to first check the coefficient of the x squared. For us, the coefficient of x squared is 1. So that means that 1 times 6 is still 6. So you are going to look for a pair of numbers such that if you add them, you will get negative 5. But if you multiply, you will get positive 6. And those numbers will be negative 2 and negative 3. So these two pair of numbers, if you multiply them, you will get positive 6. If you add them, you will get negative 5. Because negative 2 plus negative 3 gives you negative 5. And negative 2 times negative 3 will give you positive 6. So what we have to do after finding this set of numbers is to pick this x, so x, then we have minus 2. You pick one of the factors that you found, then another bracket, x again, minus 3. So that will mean that you are done factorizing the first denominator. Basically, that's what you have done. So we are done factorizing the first side. So let's just repeat the remaining side of the question. So we have minus 2 plus, then we have 3. It's been long that I've written with this pen tablet, so I'm finding it a little difficult to handle it with ease. So we are done factorizing the first side. So what we need to do now is to find the LCM. And one interesting thing is the LCM of this particular denominators is just the product of all the denominators. So you would see that ideally this number x minus 2, x minus 3 is the LCM. I will explain why that is the LCM to you in a second. So you have x minus 3. The reason this is the LCM of these whole denominators is, if you look at the second fraction, that is 1 divided by x minus 2. This denominator x minus 2 is found here. That is x minus 2. And this denominator x minus 3 is also found here, x minus 3. So it's more as though this denominator x minus 2, x minus 3 is a combination of the next two denominators. So just picking this gives us the LCM of the denominators. And what I've observed over the years is that most of the time, this kind of questions, if you factorize the algebra, it ends up becoming the denominator or the LCM of the fraction you are trying to solve. So now how do we do? Our normal way of solving fractions, our normal way of doing it is to pick the denominator and then use it to divide the LCM. So we'll pick this one, which is x minus 2, x minus 3. You will use it to divide this. So this LCM divided by the denominator is 1. And that 1 times the numerator x will give us x. So we are done solving the first part. The next part is to pick the second denominator and use it to divide the LCM. The LCM is x minus 2, x minus 3. So that means this x minus 2 will handle this x minus 2, leaving us x minus 3. This is what I mean. If you pick the LCM, or divided by x minus 2, you would realize that this x minus 2 will take care of this x minus 2, leaving us x minus 3. So that means we'll pick this one times x minus 3, then plus. So we are done with that. Let's now delete this side. Good. So what we need to do now is to move to the next denominator. That is x minus 3. So for that, we are going to repeat the same steps. That is x minus 2, x minus 3, all divided by the denominator, which is x minus 3. So this denominator, x minus 3 will handle each other, leaving us with x minus 2. So that x minus 2 will be used to multiply the numerator, which is 3. You have 3 multiplied by x minus 2. Good. I think that is clear. So let's handle this. Let's clear this from here. Right. So we are now working with the numerators and the LCM. So what we need to do now is to expand the numerator and then continue with our solution. So now we have x plus 1 times x is x, 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Then we have plus x times 3, or 3 times x gives us 3x. Then 3 times negative 2 gives us negative 6. All of this divided by x minus 2, x minus 3. I think my skill of using the pen is returning. So now let's add everything. We have this x here, x plus x will give us 2x. 2x plus 3x will give us 5x. Then we have negative 3 minus 6. Negative 3 minus 6 will give us negative 9. So we have negative 9 divided by x minus 2, x minus 3. Good. So we are done. So this is our final answer. So as a recap, let's go over again. For every fraction, we always need to find the least common multiple. For every fraction, we need to find the least common multiple. For example, if you're having 1 over 2 plus 1 over 5, you know the least common multiple is 10. That's what we know. So we always find the least common multiple. So for this one also, we need to find the least common multiple of the denominators. But before we do that, what we did was to factorize this denominator And when we factorize it, we got x minus 2, x minus 3. And then the LCM of these is this. The LCM of the denominators is x minus 2, x minus 3. After finding the denominators, remember that when it comes to a regular fraction, what we did was, or what we normally do, is to pick the LCM and divide it using the numerator. So it will be 10 divided by 2, that will be 5, and the 5 times 1. So we always do that. So the same thing is done here. We'll pick the numerator x minus 2, x minus 3, and divide it by the numerators one after the other. So this divided by this is 1, and that 1 times x is x. Then this divided by this. So we went through all of these processes and we ended up getting 5x minus 9 divided by x minus 2, x minus 3. So this is our final answer. Hopefully it makes sense to you.